Hi, everyone. Hi, Cheryl Arkle, Better Reading. This is What Are You Reading? You know how it works. I tell you what we're reading, what I'm reading, and you tell us what you're reading. So here we are. We're still in lockdown in Sydney. I think we're up to week 11 or week 12. So I'm in the office by myself. Dex is at home running all of this, and Jane, I'm sure, is going to join us via comments. So tell me how you are. Tell me what you're reading. Say hi. There's Nicole. Hi, Nicole. You all know what's happening. So many books. Sharon, hi. So I'm going to try and get through everything today. And I've got a question for you all, because you know how we've been doing a question lately. Hi, Emma. Hi, Jill. Also, too, don't forget, if you're a newbie, if you're new to us, and if you're new to What Are You Reading, don't forget to let me know. Carolyn says, hi, Cheryl. Hope you're well. I am well. Jane Tara. Oh, Jane Tara says it's week 13. I thought it was week 12 or 11. 11 or 12. So there you go. Thanks, Jane, for that reminder. Hi, Helen. Helen has just started the last of the Apple Blossom. She's in lockdown still. Yes, we hear you. Nicole is reading The Other Side of Beautiful by Kim Locke, which I've got here on my desk. But I want to talk about the book of the week, which is A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. Now, we've had to put it up on the screen because our copy, because there's problems with the mail, hasn't arrived. So there is the book. Now, you will remember Paula, because she wrote The Girl on the Train. Now, I'm sure so many of you have either read The Girl on the Train or seen the film. And this is her new book, A Slow Fire Burning. Just as gripping, just as thrilling. It's twisted, and it's a really unpredictable page turner. So that is out now, and that is our book of the week. Tell me what you've been reading. I'm going to go through the comments. Let me find. Oh, here we go. I know where I am. Okay, today's question. You're going to tell me if you can remember your favourite first line of a book. Okay, favourite first line of a book. I have been thinking about my one, and mine is My Life is an Island, and it's out of High Fidelity, Nick Hornby. Now, I'm going to tell you why that is my favourite, because it's a bit odd for somebody like me, but I actually quite like Nick Hornby, and it's somebody that I was reading around the age that he was writing, which I think always makes a difference. But many years ago, I was living in this apartment in Surrey Hills, and it had this fantastic 40 square metres of rooftop garden that was all mine. It belonged to the title. And I had a dinner party. I had a really long dinner party. I hosted a dinner party for 30 people. And I decided I was going to give each person, not the actual book itself, but a card that reminded me of them, of what it is. So say, for instance, Black Beauty, I gave that to a friend of mine, Kim, because I thought that she looked like the young Elizabeth Taylor, for instance. So what I did was trying to find a book that reminded me of a person. I did that. Anyway, My Life is an Island, High Fidelity, was for a friend of mine who I thought was just very self-centered. Great person, but it was always about him. Anyway, he didn't like it very much. If the person got I got myself into a bit of trouble that night, but I'm sure you get it. Okay, so you tell me what your favourite line is in a book, and try not to offend anyone, as I did. Okay, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Sue. Tell me if you're a newbie. Wynne is reading The Labyrinth by Amanda Lowry, beautiful book, which recently won the Miles Franklin. Is that right? Yeah. And The Other Side of Beautiful by Kim Locke. Both great books. I'm going to grab The Other Side of Beautiful because it's been mentioned twice, and it's right here on my desk. Sorry about that, everybody, but here it is. And I know so many of you have loved it. Okay, Anne. Hi, Anne. Anne is my neighbour. Madeline. Oh, Madeline is new. Hi, Madeline. Welcome. We love this segment. We hope you do too. Tell us what you're reading. Tell us what your favourite line. I really like your... I can see, Madeline, you like drinking wine, as we do here. Jane and I love wine. Anyway, I can see that on your Facebook profile. And let us know what you're reading. Okay, so shall I go on to the next book. Oh, gosh, yeah, I want to talk about this. Isn't this a great cover? Freckles by Cecilia Ahern. This is a really lovely premise for a book. 5 people, 5 chances, 1 woman's search for happiness. Do you know, I spoke to her the other night. We've got a podcast coming, but we were talking about this, and there's a line where she talks about how 5 people, in a way, your 5 friends kind of define who you are. And this is what this character is in search of. And it really got me thinking, you know, about my friends, about, you know, I'm not as young as the character, of course, but that's an interesting concept. So anyway, it's a fun book, and it's beautifully written. And she is, you'll remember, probably the author of P.S. I Love You. Do you know that was her first book, P.S. I Love You? She wrote that at 21, and then it sold film rights. I mean, huge. And she told me she was having a crisis at 21. And that's what got her to write P.S. I Love You. So there you go. And she's never looked back since. Okay. Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Sandra's reading Still Life by Sarah Winman. Michelle, oh gosh, I've just lost my spot. Okay, let me just find my spot. You guys know I do that. It's not my fault. It's just that these things just happen. Okay. Michelle says, hi, greetings from Melbourne. Stay safe. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so we're in Sydney, and we're kind of in the same boat. Although I feel as though there's light at the end of the tunnel. I think thinking, you know, if we're double vaccinated in the next month or so, that we're going to get some freedoms, which I'm so looking forward to. Natalie, hello, lovely Natalie. Natalie finished To Kill a Mockingbird and loved it and enjoyed the different insight she got as an adult compared to when you read it as a child. I agree with that totally. It's the difference. I think you get so much from reading a book when you're younger to now. But I think too, you get so much from reading a book, like let's say you're grieving, or you've just moved house, or you've moved country or city or whatever, and you read a book then and then read it a couple of years later, it has a different meaning. I agree with you totally. That's why I read it regularly, but it's always relevant, isn't it? Thanks, Natalie. That's really insightful. Anne is reading The Cartographer's Secret by Tia Cooper. Good read. Yes, we love Tia. She's been in the office a few times pre-COVID. Alison says hello. Don't forget to tell us if you're a newbie. Andrea is reading Our Kind of Girl by Claire Bowditch. We love her. Judy, hi Judy. Judy is reading Long Bright River by Liz Moore. It's a cracker. Jessica is reading 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. Emma was telling us that she also wrote Into the Water, which she did. Bronwyn currently reading The End of Men by Christina Sweeney Baird. Vicky is new. Hi, Vicky. And I can see that Vicky has a little white dog, as I do. I've got a little white dog called John Brown, which I'm sure everybody knows. And John Brown doesn't join me when I'm in the office, but if I do a segment from home, he often jumps on my lap. And John Brown was named after John Brown Rose in The Midnight Cat. Somebody stopped me in the park the other day and said, is your dog really called John Brown? It's like, yeah, he really is called John Brown. Kim just started, I can't remember what you just started last night, but maybe one of the books, Freckles probably. Jane Harvey, Dead to Me by Leslie Pierce. Love is by Leslie Pierce. Love her books. Laura, hi Laura. Laura's reading the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Wow. Meryl, hi Meryl, just finished The Clearing by J.P. Pomeroy. What a great book. Just started the Thursday Murder Club. We love JP. Really, really great writer. Jill is reading Red Lead by Roland Perry. Madeline is reading Magpie by Elizabeth Day. Mary says hi. Hi, Mary. Jane, Dead to Me by Leslie Pierce. Love her books. I think we just read that. Sue, just about to finish reading Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. Looking forward to reading the next book in the series. Tracy says hi. And Jessica says hi. And Jessica says hi to Mary as well. Hey, I just wanted to hold this up again, Modern Marriage, because I know we've been talking about that this week on Facebook, and I know that so many of you are enjoying it. Now, Philippe lives in Melbourne, and he's a doctor, and he was also a counsellor, which is where the idea of this book came from. But, you know, as I said, great book. Okay, what else have I got? J.D. Robb. Right, who has read J.D. Robb? I'm sure so many of you have. Forgotten in Death. So many of you have talked about this. And also, so we all know who J.D. Robb is. Who can tell me who it's a pseudonym for? I bet you somebody knows out there. And also this, can you believe it, is the 53rd book in the Eve Dallas crime series. Wow. Talk about being prolific. Now, I think I missed one there, Dex. Dex is behind the camera. The Unusual Abduction of Avery Conifer. Do you want to? Oh, what a gorgeous cover. I love that. Now, again, that book didn't arrive, so I can't hold it up, but there it is. And it's two women abduct a little girl called Avery because they think Avery's in danger. But the two women don't get on at all. And it's the trials and tribulations of that. Okay, all right, back onto comments for a bit. Mary is listening to the Wattle Island Book Club by Sandy Docker. Sandy Docker, that is a segue. We are speaking about that book today. Do you want to put that up, Dex? Wattle Island by Sandy Docker. Segue, Jane, if you don't mind. Love this author, a moving and heartwarming story about taking risks, finding a new lease on life, and you'll all know her because she wrote the Banksia Bay Beach Shack. Okay, all right. Now, has anybody been telling me what their favourite first line of a book is? My Life is an Island by Nick Hornby is mine. It's out of High Fidelity. Tell me what yours is. And welcome to all the newbies. I love the newbies. Sally Ann. Hi, Sally Ann. Sally Ann's not a newbie because I recognise you. Is reading Animal Farm at the moment by George Orwell. Well, what a great book. Again, probably one of those books where you've probably read it, 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever, and now you're reading it again. And, it really does have a different meaning, a different mood, I think. Okay, Kaz, The End of Men is what Kaz is reading by Christina Sweeney Baird. Gail, Jam Queens, going on holiday this week on the Garn. Oh, my God, Gail, wow, lucky you. Jane and I are itching to get onto the Garn, and we just love that book. And now I've forgotten her name, and I love her. Tell me what her name is. So there you go. You are so lucky. You're going to have to come back, Gail, and tell us what the Garn was like. Okay. Jam Queens. Who has written Jam Queens? Help me. Dex, help me. Somebody help me. Okay. Readers, help me. Judy. Hi, Judy. Judy's rereading Little Women. Again, same thing. I'd be interesting to see whether it just feels so different for you to read it now than when you read it the first time. Susan. Oh, hi, Sherry, you're full of sparkle today. Thank you. Just finished reading The Deep by Kyle Perry. Oh, we love Kyle Perry. He's so fantastic. And what a great writer he is. I don't know if it was my state of mind, but it took over a week to read this book. But the last line of the book woke me up. There you go. Oh, well, good. If you haven't read it, you've got to read it. Suzanne, Coming Up for Air by Sarah Lipsiger. A very difficult read due to the confronting subject matter, I can imagine. Judy, favourite first line. Okay, this is, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Dickens. Thank you, Judy. Good one. Anne, The Deep is so good. Yes, Anne is referring to the Kyle Perry book, and we agree with you, Anne. Emma, favourite first sentences are from On the Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta and Never Night by Jay Christoph. Now, I got a text from Melina Marchetta last night saying she wants to go for a walk next week. Her and I are friends. I love her. She lives nearby, so I'm going to tell her that. Tracy, I am haunted by humans is my favourite line from The Book Thief. Beautiful. Jane Tara, 7 Little Australians. This is her line. Before you fairly start this story, I should like to give you just a word of warning. Not one of the 7 is really good, for the very excellent reason that Australian children never are. Oh, wow, that's a good one. Good first line. Thank you, Jane. Ruth, hi, Ruth. Ruth is reading The Kabul Beauty School by Deborah Rodriguez. We love her. Donna is reading Cause of Death by Jeffrey Archer. Nalima, hi Nalima, is reading The Dare by Leslie Cara and listening to The Deep by Kyle Perry. Love how you guys do 2 books at a time. I'm not that person. I'm just 1 book at a time. I could do a book and a podcast, but I can't, I can't do multiple books, but there you go. whatever works. Susan just started reading The Other Side of Beautiful, which we had. Oh, okay, which reminds me, I've got to get back to my book. You know, I get so engrossed in the comments and conversations, I forget what I'm talking about. Our Woman in Moscow, Two Sisters, One Way Home. It's 1948, and Iris vanishes from her London home with her American diplomat husband and their 2 children. Look at that. I love these covers. I know some of you don't, because somebody made a comment today on Facebook, but I do actually. And, you know, covers like this always make me feel a little bit cold. But anyway, that's out now, and look out for it. This is gorgeous. Do you want to put this up? Daughters of War, Dex. This is a proof copy, so that's the final copy, which are very similar, I think. But just so you know, it's the best-selling author of the Tea Planter's Wife, and it's a stunning tale of 2 sisters, secrets, bravery, and the darkness of war-torn France. You all know what a proof is. Don't forget, if you want to read proofs, or ARCs, if you like, you just need to sign up to our newsletter, and you need to put your hand up for whatever is going that day. Okay. All right, I've got so much. Hey, listen, this is really special. Now, do you guys remember Kieran from Affirm, Kieran Rogers, who sometimes does What Are You Reading and does such a brilliant job of it? Actually, this book matches my dress. There you go. Anyway, his mum has written this book, and it's called Lighter Than Air, Australian Ballooning History. Now, she wrote to me the other day and asked me if I can hold it up and talk about it and let all you people know about it. Now, I have never been ballooning, but that is the most beautiful balloon. I would like to go ballooning. I just don't think I've ever kind of had the opportunity. But anyway, won't be able to do it in lockdown. What a gorgeous book. Kieran's mum is called Helene, and the book is called Lighter Than Air, Australian Ballooning History. Thank you, Helene, for writing to me and asking me to hold it up, and there it is. And it's also published by Affirm as well. Okay, so that's that. Now, how am I going for time? Good. I want to get through a couple of things. I want to talk about Lisa Miller, Daring to Fly. The podcast is out now. What a wonderful book. I want to tell you, I recorded this podcast with her. She's beautiful. She does ABC breakfasts as well. And this is about her fear of flying, but also, you know, a bit of a memoir about her life. But I talked to her on the podcast about, you know, her wanting to be a journalist and wanting to be a presenter. And she told me from a very young age, she used to have a little tape recorder, and she used to interview members of her family. And, you know, she would have been like 8 or 9 or something. Anyway, she told me she had recently, after her dad died, she'd recently found a tape of her interviewing her dad. And, you know, the next morning while I was having my coffee and toast, I thought, wouldn't it be good if we could get that recording and put it in the podcast? And we did, and it's in the podcast, and it is so gorgeous. Go listen to the podcast. Go read the book. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to have to find my spot again, which I am going to do. Oh, yeah, you all know it. I mean, look at all these comments. Okay, all right. Hang on, people. Let me get there. Okay, I'm there. Nalima loves Deborah Rodriguez's books too. Ebony, hi Cheryl. Hi Ebony, hope you're keeping well. I've had a wonderful week of reading, finishing 3 brilliant books. The Other Side of Beautiful, When Things Are Alive They Hum, which is gorgeous. Hannah Bent, that was her name, and Once There Were Wolves, about to start The Offing by Ben Myers. Well, you are having a booming time of reading. Okay, Karen just finished The Guest List by Lucy Foley, suspenseful. Thank you. Kathy, currently reading The Champagne Wall by Fiona McIntosh, who we adore and enjoying it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Joan knows it. Champagne is my favourite drink. Out of everything, champagne is my favourite. Maybe we'll do a favourite drink segment one day. Debbie, reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen for our book club. Again, you know, that's reading a classic. And had you read it before, and what do you think of it versus reading it when you first read it to reading it now? Sharon, right, this is Sharon's first line. People disappear all the time. It comes from Outlander, the cross-stitch series by Diana Gabaldon. Ruth, I enjoyed the Thursday Murder Club. Fun and easy it is. Lorraine just burnt the midnight oil reading Greenwich Park by Catherine Faulkner, a real page turner. Carolyn, this is Carolyn's first line or favourite line. Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again, from Rebecca. I just love the book, and whenever I read the line again or hear it in the 1939 film, it always thrills me. It just gave me goosebumps. I know that line too, Carolyn. Tricia is reading Sweet Sweet Revenge Limited by Jonas Johansson. It's crazy and very funny and perfect for lockdown. Sandra listened to the podcast with Kim Locke. Wonderful. Emailed her to tell her how much I loved it and the book. She replied same afternoon. Aren't authors wonderful? So that's Kim Locke. Kim Locke. Here she is. The Other Side of Beautiful, that matches my address too, if you can see that. Okay, I'm good for time, I get into trouble if I'm running late. I get into trouble a lot, just so you all know. Anyway, where are we? Ross is reading The Borgias, Fortune and Power by Paul Strathern. Carol is reading The Riviera House by Natasha Lester. I picked that up actually. It is an absolutely fantastic book. And Carol really enjoys this segment. Well, I love the segment too, and I love all you guys. Don't forget, Natasha Lester was with us a couple of weeks ago. She did a great event. I know people are still watching it. It's going up and up and up in views. So if you missed it, you can jump on and see that. Okay, what else have I? I just wanted to mention The After Story by Lisa Berendt. This is the proof copy because I couldn't find the finished copy. Because so many of you have spoken about it in comments. So you know that's out now and people are loving it. Oh, gosh. Okay, this is special. This is really special. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the horrible shooting happened in New Zealand, in the mosque, when all those people were murdered, I, on Instagram, found this beautiful illustrator, and she put up this beautiful illustration on that day. It still gives me, I'm going to read it to you. Look at that gorgeous illustration. And she said, "This is your home and you should have been safe here." Okay, that nearly made me cry. I then got permission from her and I put it onto the Facebook, to our Facebook page, Better Reading Facebook page. And I know all of you felt the same way. I know that this illustration touched all of you. And then very recently, I saw that she has a book out. It's out now, just this week, and it's called All of This Is For You. I just received this in the mail today. I haven't had a chance to have a good look at it. A Little Book of Kindness by Ruby Jones. But do you know, these little books are so great to have on your bedside table, to look at and to read and to remind ourselves about, all the good things in life. And I don't know, I find her illustration so moving and beautiful. Anyway, that's out now. I'll talk about this even more once I've had a good look at it. But she is really hugely talented. But anyway, so that's out now. Okay, all right, what else have we got? That nearly made me cry. Ruth, okay, so Carol told us she loves this segment. Thank you, Carol. Amanda, hi, Amanda. The last two books I've read have been page turners, both written from a female perspective. The first one is The Labyrinth and The Narrow Door by Joanne Harris, which is wonderful. She's a good writer. Layla. Hi, Layla. Greetings from Wagga Wagga. Later is reading The Mother Wound by Amani Haider, which I think we've got here somewhere, and we talked about. Learning a lot about the Lebanese community in Australia, as I am a new Australian myself. So am I. I was born here, Layla, but my parents were born in Lebanon and they came to Sydney in the 50s. I hope you're enjoying finding out about all of that. Cynthia is reading The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, who we adore. Lee says hi to Cheryl and Jane, and Lee is reading Invisible Husband of Frick Island, and it's very quirky but great. Kerry finished The Seven Sisters, loved everyone, fabulous books. And it's Kerry's first comment. Welcome, Kerry. We would say that you were a newbie. Keisha is not a newbie. Hi, Keisha. Hope you're enjoying the. I am enjoying. I've been walking twice. Well, I always walk the dog twice, but I've also been able to walk with friends, which is great. Anyway, Keisha's reading The Asylum by Karen Cole. Karen, hi, Karen. Just finished The Deep by Kyle Perry. Is now my number one for 2021. That's fantastic. That is high praise. Thank you, Karen. And she's now reading A Room Called Earth by Madeline Ryan. A different pace. No first lines have stayed with me. Need to pay more attention. That's okay, Karen. If they stayed with you, then they have meaning. I'm really glad you're reading A Room Called Earth by Madeline Ryan. It's a really lovely book. Lois recently started When Things Are Alive, They Hum by Hannah Bent. Enjoying it, but think there will be tears at the end. Yes. Lisa, and also don't forget, Hannah did an event for us. And that's still up there if you want to watch it. I thought the event was fantastic. Speaking of events, who joined us last night for Happy Hour by Jacqueline Byron? She was wonderful last night. This is such a great book. I know so many of you are loving it. And if you missed the event last night, don't forget they're recorded and you can go back and watch them. So there's an event coming up. Where am I? I'm just so not keeping up with what I'm meant to be doing. So the event for next week. The event for next Wednesday is the unusual abduction of. Can you put that back up? Of Avery Conifer. Isla Evans is going to be joining us Wednesday night, 8:00. You know the drill. And we can't wait for that. And really just the most gorgeous cover. Now, where are we? Lisa, The Love Letter from Lucinda Riley is what she's reading. And My Lovely Neighbour, the first line out of Teree Pitt book. The fire was coming towards us so fast, there was no time to think. Wow. I mean, that is just such an extraordinary story. Do you know, and thanks for reminding me of Terea, I've recorded a couple of podcasts with Teree, but I also, and you will be able to find it somewhere, I think it's on our YouTube. Teree came to my home a few years ago, just maybe 2 years after the fire. Her and her husband came and I did this wonderful video interview with them. See if you can find it, because it's just, and she talks about the fire at length. Yeah, that's great. First line, Anne. Thank you. Deb, hi, Deb. She's reading Trick of the Light by Fiona McCallum, who we love. And Deb loves her books too. Stacey just finished reading All We Have Is Now reading a preview book, The Maid, loving it so far. Wonderful. Don't forget preview books. If you want a preview, sign up to the newsletter. Also, we're on YouTube. If you want to watch us via YouTube, go do that. There's the little logo. And podcasts. Please give us a rating, give us comments, whatever. And we're going to put the podcast links in there. I mean, they're so popular. And I know the podcasts have given a lot of people some solace during lockdown. So go and join up. And I love doing them. Do you know who I spoke to today? You will be so jealous. Tom Keneally. I mean, I don't know, he'd have to be in his 80s. But do you know, there were times in the conversation where I forgot who an author was or whatever. He knew it just like that, He's written that many books. And for those that don't know him, he is the author of Schindler's Ark. Anyway, really beautiful. And that podcast will come out soon. He is, I reckon Tom Keneally is a national treasure. Okay. Cheryl, hi Cheryl. Just finished reading Those Hamilton Girls, and it's a book I don't want to finish. Love your sessions. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Oh gosh. So Tracy is responding. God, how far back am I? And I'm running out of time. JD Robb, yes, is Nora Roberts. Thank you, Helen. We don't have a prize to give away. I don't know if I've been through everything. Podcast out now by Jack Avila. Really great chat with him about the book. Catherine Steadman. Can I tell you, she was in, now I've forgotten. What was she in? Somebody tell me. She was in that romance period thing. Gosh. Anyway. You know what? Tom would have been able to help me this, Tom Keneally. Anyway, Catherine, I had a chat with her. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous, lovely. And the podcast with her is out now, and this is her new book. She is, what was her first book? Aren't I absolutely hopeless? Anyway, we will talk about it again, but this is her new book, and the podcast is out now. I'm all over the place with my notes and my books, as you can see, and we've run out of time. I don't know if I've been through everything, but I've tried. Listen, I've been on for 30 minutes. I am going to go through all the comments later. Thank you all for helping me out on things that I've forgotten. I'll go through tonight and read all your comments and like them. Thank you so much for joining us. You know I love this session. I can't wait for everybody to be back in the office, and I'm doing it with a whole lot of people around me. At the moment, it's just me on my own with Dex at home and Jane at home as well. Thank you to all of you. Really, honestly, you cheer me up. I love this segment so much. And I know that you guys get a lot of value out of it. Now, don't forget to get vaccinated so we can all get out of this. Stay safe, and I will see you next week. See ya.